Hello, my name is Sarah Okerlund. I am a civil engineer for the City of Ames Public Works Department. I am currently working on the design for the 2012-13 Concrete Pavement Improvement Program, which includes Wheeler Street from Royalty Avenue to Grand Avenue. This annual program is intended to rehabilitate or reconstruct concrete street sections that have deteriorated, including joint sealing, in order to prevent premature breakdown of the pavement. These projects ultimately provide enhanced rideability to both residents and visitors. For anyone who has driven on this section of Wheeler Street, especially in the early spring when the freeze-thaw cycle enhances the joint displacement, you would probably agree it is time to do something. As with any roadway construction project, there will inevitably be some delay and inconvenience to the traveling public and adjacent businesses. What I will show you today is the anticipated project plan and then some phasing options. Similar options were presented at the preliminary project meeting this past spring. At that time, the general consensus of those present was to hold off on this section of roadway until spring 2014. Doing this will allow the project to be started earlier in the construction season, so completion would be prior to fall 2014 when traffic volumes pick up due to Iowa State students returning and football starting. That remains the current plan. This project will include the removal and replacement of full-depth concrete pavement from Grand Avenue, roughly 450 feet through the main Dolls driveway. Salvageable curb and gutter and the majority of the raised median will remain in place. Select storm sewer replacement will also occur while the pavement is out. From Royalty Avenue east, roughly 300 feet to the west side of the main Dolls driveway will include some full-depth patches where the pavement has failed and joint sealing to minimize water damage to the pavement base for the remainder of the section. The direct impact to traffic will depend in part on the phasing options. In both options, some driveways will be temporarily closed. Through traffic will either be detoured around or encounter limited access, and Syride will detour around with a temporary stop on Royalty Avenue. We did look into some other options after the project meeting, but are not recommending those options due to the impacts to public safety, cost effectiveness, and the end product quality. Each of the following phasing options come with advantages and disadvantages. Your input matters. If you have a preference for one reason or another, please contact me using the contact information provided at the end of this video. Option 1. Option 1 consists of only 2 phases and would likely be the quickest option, with an estimated construction time of 4 to 6 weeks. Please note that both here and throughout, when I say estimated construction time, that assumes ideal conditions when uncontrollable things such as wet weather are not a factor. In option 1A, Wheeler Street would be closed for the extent of the full-depth reconstruction, including Orion Drive at Wheeler Street and the driveways along this stretch. Detour signs would be posted, and the city would work with those whose access was impacted to provide special signage for alternate routes to their businesses. The main benefit from a time perspective here is the ability to perform all of the storm sewer work in a single phase without the need for temporary patching and minimizing mobilization time for the contractor to switch between phases. Given that this option would likely save money due to fewer mobilizations, we may be able to add an incentive to the contract in order to motivate timeliness of the contractor. Phase B of this option is actually the same final phase for both phasing options. This phase will consist of patching and joint sealing. It is anticipated the traffic will be maintained throughout this work with intermediate delays to accommodate construction. There are 2 patches at the Dolls driveway in this area, which may limit the usable width of the western drive temporarily. Option 2. In this option, the work is broken down into 4 phases and is estimated to take 7 to 9 weeks to construct. This phase maintains, at a minimum, partial access to Orion Drive from Wheeler Street at all times. Option 2A. The first recommended phase for this alternate is the storm sewer crossing near Grand Avenue. Closing this section of Wheeler Street as shown would be the quickest and most cost-effective method to remove and replace the existing storm sewer crossing. It allows us to maintain stormwater drainage throughout the project without the use of temporary pipes and a pump system. We are proposing to give contractors 24 hours to complete this work. All driveways would remain open to traffic from the west. However, access directly from Grand Avenue to Wheeler Street would be closed. Since Grand Avenue is a state highway, we will work with the Iowa Department of Transportation regarding traffic control and possible special signage. Again, I'll talk more about this at the end. During Phase B, the north half of Wheeler Street between Orion Drive and Grand Avenue will be replaced while maintaining two-way traffic along Wheeler Street on the south side. This keeps all of the driveways fully accessible. However, westbound large truck traffic will not be able to make the right-hand turn onto Orion Drive and will instead need to be rerouted to Royke Avenue, where there is alternate access to all parking lots and buildings. Our early understandings are this should not be a problem. If you feel or know otherwise, please contact us to let us know. During Phase C, the north half of Wheeler Street between Orion Drive and Grand Avenue will be a one-way connection for traffic, traveling from Grand Avenue west to Orion Drive. 3 driveways, 1 into Northern Lights and 2 into Dulles, will be closed during this phase. We will work with impacted businesses to provide special signage and/or maps to distribute or post for delivery drivers and customers as needed. Phase 2D will be the same as 1B, consisting of full depth patching and joint sealing. As mentioned before, the City of Ames is willing to work with businesses whose accesses are impacted by the construction project. Some of the ways we can help include special signage to go along with the detour signs or identify temporary accesses, PDF maps to post or distribute to delivery drivers and customers, and weekly online construction updates accessible by anyone with an interest. Shown here is a potential option for special signage associated with Option 1, Phase A. Impacted businesses' names would be printed on an orange construction sign to help direct the traveling public through detours and temporary drive locations as necessary. We would propose to limit Northern Lights businesses' names to Northern Lights in order to present clear information a driver can readily read and minimize confusion. It should also be noted that special signs located within the Grand Avenue right-of-way would need to be approved by the Iowa Department of Transportation. These PDFs are available for download at cityofames.org. We would appreciate any feedback you might have relating to this project and the 2 proposed phasing options. They both have their benefits and downfalls. And please, if you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to contact me using the information on the screen. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We will do our best to work with you while maintaining the goal of providing a successful yet cost-effective project.